You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. Hello and welcome to Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast that's suitable for all ages from to and everything in between. I'm Tiernan, and listeners, here in the UK, it's cold and wet and smelly. No, wait, that's just me, sorry. And it's dark, and it's grubular, and it's Stanley, and it's blah. And that means, do you know what that means? Linda, do you know what that means, Linda? No? Oh, well. It means it's time for all the best food. Yeah, best food, like soup. Soup is amazing because it's lots of things, but they're all blended up so you don't have to bother. Like, imagine if you had to eat a carrot and a potato and a cabbage and a convertible wagon and an onion and a full-scale model of the Taj Mahal and a parsnip and the village of Ogmore by Sea. Yawn, right? That would take all of your life, all of it. So much chewing, I just wouldn't even bother. But if you took all of those ingredients and blended them up into a soup, yum! 2 slurps, and baboom, I've eaten all that stuff. Can you imagine how much easier other parts of life would be if you turn them into soup and blended them all up? I mean, your room's a mess. Ugh, tidying everything away is so exhausting. But you blend it up and scab-a-ding, it's just a small bowl of soup. Yum. And now your room's tidy. Or you don't have a room and you've eaten it. Or, you know, if you have to pack for a holiday, that takes a long time to remember everything. And then you've got to somehow fit it into a suitcase. But if you blend all the things you need for a holiday up, hooray! Now it's just a small bowl of soup and you just throw that in the suitcase and everyone's happy. Or, what if you have to find enough friends to form a giant conga line, but yawn? Why don't you just blend up those friends? Have friend soup. No, wait, actually, no, don't do that. The other great food at this time of the year, though, listeners, if you eat it, is cheese. I love cheese so much. I like how it tastes. I like how if you melt it, it becomes all stringy and elastic, and you can use it to make catapults or hang things from the ceiling. Round cheeses, they can be rolled down hills. Stinky cheeses can be used to disguise a fart. I mean, cheese is great. And this week, I have ordered a very, very special cheese just for me. It's one of those cheeses that has holes in it. You know what I'm talking about? Like an Emmental or a Gruyere. Does a Gruyere have holes? Like they look like they could be cheeses or a series of tunnels for a small creature. One of those ones. Here it is. Let me open up this special cheese right away. What a whiff. That is a real pong. Now, this cheese is contained in a very special box, but before I open that, let me read to you what it says in the little leaflet that it comes with. I have to do the proper voice. This cheese is the cheese with the most holes a cheese has ever had. Forget it, Emmental, or the other ones with the holes in. Gruyere, does that have holes? I'm not sure. Our new fromage, le fromage de trou, is the absolute mostest holes in any cheese ever. Delicieux. Wow, well, I can't wait. I'll just undo these locks on the box. Right, and then I've got to remove this special seal. And unlock this padlock with this tiny key attached on the side. And then program in this top secret code. And voila. What? There's nothing there except... Whoa, what a stink. That is even worse than before. But where's the cheese? Who's taken it? I've been robbed by a cheese thief. You know, I spent all my life savings on this cheese, and it's not here. But the smell is so strong. It must have been here once. How to find it? Before I track down this mega cheese burglar, don't forget, listeners, that if you have a question you need to have answered, or you want to send in a joke you've written for me to read out, or you want to send in anything else at all, please get your nearest moaning muffin heads, grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclubforkids.co.uk. And actually, if you have any Christmas questions or things you really need to know about Christmas or winter, send them in ASAP before December the 6th, because once again we'll be doing a special Christmas radio nonsense. I think I forgot to do one last year, but it will be back this year. Send those in to podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk, and there'll be a mega Christmas one at some point just before festive times. Also, you can give the show a nice review on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or a bunch of other places, and you can reply to any episode on the Spotify Q&A too. Also, please check out comedyclubforkids.co.uk for all of our live shows. Wow, that cheese whiff really is powerful. In fact, if I squint, I'm pretty sure I can see it. It's kind of greeny yellow in it. It travels out of the door and down the road. Okay, listeners, I am going to follow the smell pattern and I am going to find my cheese. While I do that, you listen to this most importantest bit. Finally, right here on Radio Nonsense, yes, it is the amazing Jonny Awsum, known for being the world's greatest at pushing things over in a very annoying way. Jonny, I am so pleased to finally get you on the show. How are you?
I'm good. I really annoyed someone this morning, crept up behind them just as they were finishing their ginormous world record-breaking domino rally. Ooh. I think they were just about to go and press record on their camera so they could film it and then send it to the Guinness Book of Records and become a world record holder. Guess what I did? Pushed the first domino over and off we went, and stood back and watched all of them go down, and they were just jumping up and down, hopping mad.
I mean, that is beautiful. It is awful. I mean, they must have been annoyed, but at the same time, they must have thought, wow, it's the world famous Jonny Awsum that's pushed this over.
I think,
were they happy in the end?
There were some mixed emotions, yes. That's a good observation from you. They were half saying, oh, wow, why is Jonny Awsum in our house? They were also very, very angry because apparently it had taken them over 3 months to set it all up. Yeah, to get it ready. And I mean, some of those things they didn't have to use again. One of them was a rocket that fired off into the air, and I don't think they had a second rocket.
Right. I mean, it does... In a way, I think what you've done is taught them a very valuable lesson that if they are going to set something up like that, they also need to be prepared for you turning up. You know, they obviously didn't factor that in. And
lock the front door. It's one of those life lessons.
Yeah, that's really key.
We should say that now. Lock the front door if you're planning to do a world record-breaking domino rally. It's rule number one. Yeah,
I'd say so. Because, I mean, you are known to just... walk in through doors if they're unlocked. That's one of the things you do.
It's been a busy morning. I went straight to Tesco after that and pushed a couple of old ladies over in the milk aisle. Right. That's always good fun, you know, because they can't get back up. So there's a lot of hilarity there in just watching them sort of, you know, squirm around on the floor. I mean, I can't go to that Tesco again now, but that's the thing. I like to change my location each time so people never know where I'm going to pop up.
It's really remarkable, and I always like the thing you do when you do push an old lady over. You often then help them back up, and then you push them over again, which then makes it double mean.
Absolutely
while
brilliant.
Helpful in the middle.
It's brilliant because they think, oh, I see, it was an accident, didn't really mean to do it, and then whoop, back on the floor, aren't they? Back down.
Yeah.
And also occasionally, depending on what they're buying, I might take something out of the basket. Wow. Maybe a pan de chocolat. Think, well, that looks quite nice, I'll have that. Or, you know, fruits. Various fruits.
That's wonderful. I mean, I've got my list of things that I think are some of my favourites of yours were when you went to that very old museum and you pushed over several ancient Greek vases. That was remarkable because they did have security and you somehow didn't care.
They did have security. I did check before I went in that it would not be my responsibility to pay for any damages in there, just because of the amount that those vases went for. I mean, I don't know if you know, but it's crazy. Priceless, they say, which I always used to think meant it's not worth anything. But apparently it's the opposite of that. It means it's so expensive, you can't put a price on it. It's just too expensive. So I checked the small print on my ticket, and as soon as I knew that I wouldn't be held accountable, I was in there and I was pushing things, and that was a really good day. One of the best.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic, and I agree with you. If something has no price, then it's priceless. But if something has a big price, it's priceless. That doesn't make any sense to me. True. Either it's got a price or it hasn't got a price. There's no.
And you know, one of the things that I like to do, and this is, something I'd probably like to try and pass on to any kids that are listening to the show Okay, if you want to get into the pushing game, if that's something you're interested in doing, it's always good fun to do it near to someone else and then open your mouth and point at them as if they've done the pushing. That is a classic. It's a real classic. You know, the other day, for example, I went down to London town and there was an exhibition. It was an art exhibition, and this was some brand new things that had been built and paintings and things like that. And there was a boy there with his mum looking at the art, and I pushed over a ginormous, absolutely fantastic display of, what should we describe it as? A bit like when you stack up tin cans or cards, you know, and you do it in a kind of triangle, like a pyramid formation. Well, someone had done that with very, very expensive model cats that were made from porcelain. So you imagine maybe 100 different coloured porcelain cats that have been carefully built into this kind of champagne tower. And I just gave that a real good push, and then I twisted around and pointed at this boy. What are you doing? As if to say, I can't believe you've pushed that over. And then it was fantastic just to stand back and watch him get arrested, you know.
That's beautiful.
Brilliant.
That's beautiful. But I mean, I'd also argue that, you know, what you did there, you took art, you made more art, you know, because it's hard to say. Sometimes art is put together, sometimes art's fallen apart. Like, you know, if anything, you've made it more artistic.
That's exactly it. And that was a lovely rhyme. You know, sometimes art is falling apart. That's a nice, beautiful way of looking at it. Yeah, I mean, they may have had to rename it. It was called the Pyramid of Cats, and I think at the end it was probably more like the rubbish tip of cats. But I mean, it's what do you need? Yeah, the catastrophe. All you need is a marker and just cross it out, change it. Everyone's happy. Everyone wasn't happy, but I was happy. Sure,
yeah. But I mean, you know, that boy got arrested. I'd have thought his parents were super happy because they get a night off. They're just like, they get free childcare.
Well, they looked like they were about to go to Nando's straight from the museum. That was the impression I got, and probably enjoy the quiet, you know, just without those kids driving them crazy. So, yeah, I think I did them a favour really nice in the end. That's what I took from it. Yeah,
I think so. I mean, I think this is the thing, is a lot of people do say that you push things over in an annoying way and what you do is destructive or awful, but a lot of the time I think you are helping people out, you are changing people's perceptions. Also, sometimes, you know, you're looking at these items, and this is what I think I read in an interview of yours, and you think, do you know what, that thing needs a lie down. It's been standing up for ages. I'm gonna help it have a little rest.
Yeah, cows are the classic for that. I mean, everyone knows about cow tipping. I mean, it's kind of how I got into it. I had an uncle that showed me how to tip a cow. And that experience, I was only about 7. It was so life-changing for me. It was a real light bulb moment. I thought, wow, things don't have to stay upright. They can be pushed over. And sometimes I do think I'm helping people. You're right. Because, for example, the other day, there was a ginormous hole in the road, and they put some barriers out to stop cars going down that street. And it was so inconvenient, you know, so inconvenient. People are trying to go that way to take their kids to school or go to the supermarket. So I just pushed all the barriers over. I just got rid of them. I pushed those barriers over so that people could drive down that street. And yeah, of course, there was at some stage a lot of cars in a giant hole. But once that kind of leveled out and you could sort of drive over the cars that were in the hole, we were back to normal. And did the council thank me? No. They didn't.
That's really rude, isn't it? You filled the hole for free.
I filled it up
using ingenuity, and I mean that's fantastic. That's how we should be filling all these sinkholes and potholes.
That's it.
Let stuff fall in them.
I think we just need to drive different things of different shapes and sizes into the holes. Get rid of the barriers. In fact, at one point, because it wasn't totally even, I just helped them put some barriers on top of the cars that were there, just to get it really nice and flat. That was a better use of those barriers, because then everyone could go about their day. And I mean, the person that was, you know, the first one into the hole, they were moaning, you know, get me out, all that kind of thing. But sometimes you have to sort of be a bit less selfish, I think, with these things. That's what I was trying to shout down. Well, that's it. You're
helping society. They're not helping society, but they didn't want to fill up that hole. And I think that's, you know, how's that a help to anyone? You know, you've got to be part of a community. And I think that's really. I have to ask, you know, when you push a cow over, it's called cow tipping, but fly tipping isn't pushing over flies. And if you tip a waiter or waitress, then that's not pushing them over, is it? So what's...
I'm impressed, actually, by these things you're saying, because it's like you really know your stuff. I don't know. Have you ever been to Have you ever been to any of the tipping meets where we get together, us pushers, and we talk about the pushing and tipping that's going on out there. Have you ever been to one?
No,
You sound to me like maybe a closet pusher to me.
Well, the thing is, I've researched you because I knew you were coming on, and I had to look back through all your. It's something I'm fascinated by. Every now and then, I've seen things. I've thought, do you know what? I could just push that over, and it'd be great fun. But I haven't gone through it with it myself. I don't know if I do it with the artistic skill that you do it with.
What we say in the game is, you just need to sort of stop and ask yourself 3 questions before you push anything over. First question is, am I strong enough to push that over? That's number 1.
Yes, that's big, yeah.
Okay.
That's big, yeah.
Second, is it going to cause a crash, a loud noise, a bang? If it isn't, it might not be worth doing it. We want to create a very loud a noise, a real bang or crash. The third thing is, am I going to laugh after pushing this thing over? Am I going to find this funny? And if the answer is yes to the second 2, and from the first one you're going to be able to do it, then I say get stuck in.
Wow.
Get pushing.
That's great.
I've got a song coming out. I don't know if I mentioned that or it said it on my Wikipedia. I got a song coming out. It's called Get Pushing. Do you want to hear a little bit?
Amazing. If we're allowed a sneak peek.
Yeah. We're recording it at the moment. We've got some pretty big names. I think Gaga's coming in on it.
Wow.
It's like this.
She loves pushing stuff over, yeah.
When you're driving down the road and you see a cow, get out the car and push that cow over, don't ask how. Get pushing. Come on, get pushing. Not to be confused with fly tipping. That's a whole different thing. But get pushing. Oh yeah. Now, what I would say is, if anyone listening to this enjoyed that and they like that, then if you give me a message on social media, #GetPushing, I will send you a free copy of it when it comes out.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
listen, I love that. That was very. I thought it had a real Bob Dylan-esque vibe to it. I think there was.
Well, it's funny you say that because I think Bob's going to be a part of it. I think he's going to get involved.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, he loves. I mean, I think there's a big. I know there's a big Hollywood scene where all these celebrities like going out and pushing over stuff, and they go to the big Met Gala and they push each other over, and it's it's clearly in fashion right now.
Bob sort of broke the mold a little bit for me because, if you don't know out there, he's got a song called Mr. Tambourine Man. And as we know, tambourine's around. And he started pushing his tambourine many years ago, and he's still going with that. So
yes.
I keep saying to him, Bob, if you push it one way, it's just going to keep rolling, and you just have to keep following it along, pushing it. Really, you need to push it on the side so it falls over. But he doesn't listen. That's the problem. He doesn't really listen. So he's still going with that. He's still pushing that. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's it. I guess it's not... Yeah, it was something he did almost as a hobby. You've taken it now as a profession, and you know how to do it seriously.
Well, that's it now because of social media. I'm kind of an influencer with my pushing, and I can generate a lot of money from showing clips of me pushing things over online, and also people want me to push their products over. That's the other thing. There's a lot of money in that.
That's great.
So I get sent something. I get something. You name it. Someone sent me the other day a small trombone. They want me to push that over. And then mention the name of it, the brand of it. So, I'll push that over. It would take me long to do it. It's easy money, really,
Really easy money. Listen, John, I am delighted that it's all going so well for you. I've followed your career for a long time, and I'm really in awe of it. And I think you've also inspired me and hopefully some of the listeners to maybe just get pushing some stuff over as and where they can. I'm sure I've asked you on the show, well, because it's great having you here and you've got brilliant expertise, but also I've got a question that I think you are the expert that will be able to answer it. But before I ask you that, I'm not sure if you're aware, I've got a couple of legally binding admin questions that I have to ask you. Okay. How do you feel about admin?
Can't really push it over. I mean, depends if there's a really big stack of paper, a lot of admin, a lot of red tape, then sometimes that will go. Sure, but it doesn't really make the crash that I like. It's more of a as it sort of goes down. But yeah, go on, fire away. Let's do the admin.
Yeah, I mean, you might find the second question I think is tricky. The first question I think is so easy you might find it a pushover. Would that help?
I like the way you've done that. I mean, that could be a t-shirt. I think.
Could be a t-shirt,
yeah. I could start selling that on my site. I love that.
Push it to the tipping society.
Don't be a pushover. Push things. No, don't be a pushover. get pushing.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice. That's
Yeah.
really nice. Yeah. Well, let's see how you go with these. I think the first one you'll find easy. As I said, this is a very simple question I have to ask everyone on the show, which is that the listeners to this show are of all possible ages, any age you can imagine, Bronze Age, Ice Age, 106, however you want to, wherever they are in the galaxy, whatever age they tune in. So I just need to check if there are any rude words that you won't be saying during the show to make sure it stays family friendly.
Well, one of the worst ones, it's not allowed in our house, is obviously flanbog. I certainly won't say flanbog throughout the rest of the recording for respect for your listeners. Yeah.
Thank you for that. It is a particularly horrible word. I'm interested to know why it's not allowed in your house.
Well, it's easy to look at someone who's eating and say, "Oh, look at that flanbog," because they're eating a lot of food. It's easy to say that, but it's very offensive to use that word, as we all know. Everyone comes in all different shapes and sizes. We should all be welcomed. We should all be... If you want to eat some Frosties or a piece of toast, you should be able to do that without someone jumping out and shouting flanbog and pointing at you. It's not on.
That's true. No, that's true. It's got really horrible origins, hasn't it, that way? I mean, it comes from a place where there were a lot of flans disappeared.
Well, obviously, the town that had so many flans that ended up a bog of flans, and they blamed that on the one person that just liked flans. There was one person who would bake a lot of flans, and one day they had too many and they started to put them out the back, and one thing led to another, and before you know it, there was a bog of flans. But that's not a reason to suggest that if someone's enjoying a meal, they should be shouted at and pointed at and called a flanbog.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I mean, I suppose my question of you is, if there was a bog and you had a stack of flans, would you push them in?
I'm not going to lie, that has happened in the past. I don't really want to incriminate myself, but I have visited the town we're talking about, and I am partly responsible for the size of that bog.
Right.
Yeah.
I see. Right. Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't just one person eating all the flans. It was also you pushing in.
Well, I may have helped, but
right.
Great detective work from you there.
I just had an inkling. It's just knowing you, and it was also sort of hearing your voice as you were talking about the story. I thought there's something more to this.
I think we should move on, because I don't want to get a criminal record for my pushing, and that is a time that I was definitely sort of, it's a grey area.
Fair. That's all right.
Adding the flans to the bog of that area, and the fact that there's the word that's been created from it now, it's very difficult. I think it is a push that I regret, that one.
Right. Well, listen, for me, it just makes it more obvious as to why we definitely shouldn't say flanbog on the show, why you shouldn't say it.
We certainly shouldn't say flanbog. And actually, if you think about it, if you remember my rules about pushing, I didn't follow my own rules, did I? Can I push it over? Right. Yes. Is it going to make a loud crash? No. It's not going to, is it? No. It's a load of flans going into more flans. Will it make me laugh? I thought it would. But actually, I just felt quite sad after doing it. And so... There you go. You see, I didn't follow my own advice, and that's where I went wrong there, I think.
That's a shame. I mean, I do think that the key to getting a laugh from flan misuse would be you have to put it in someone's face, don't you? It has to go in someone's face. I
think so. Or if you perhaps were at the theatre and you had a nice big flan and you were sitting in those seats up the top, and then you just pushed that over the edge and it landed on someone's head like a hat. That would be a great push, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And actually, maybe that would hit the questions. Can I push it? Yes. Is it going to make a noise? I think it would if it fell from a great height.
Yes, and the person whose head it landed on would make a noise as well.
Yeah, they'd make a good noise. And I would just say as well, because I'm not completely, totally careless, let's not push anything off a balcony at a theatre, if you're listening to this, that could hurt anybody. Let's not push anything off like a cannonball. Let's not take a cannonball to the theatre full stop. You don't need one there, do you? I don't think. No.
I agree, because I suppose following your rules, you probably could push a bowling ball over. It would make a loud noise, but I don't know if you'd laugh. I think you'd be horrified. Yeah,
I think that's it. So actually, these rules are pretty spot on, aren't they? I'm quite proud of them.
Really good. They're really good. Of course they are. You're the expert. And listen. Thank you for not saying flanbog on the show. I really appreciate that. And I definitely won't be saying it either.
That's okay. And no variations of it as well, like flanny bog or flambogger, and none of those kind of things. Flanny flan bog. Look at that guy. What an absolute flambog. He must eat flambogs when he's dressed up as, a flambog for Halloween. All that kind of stuff is just too much, I think. Just too much.
Far too much. It's horrendous, actually. And I think were you to do something like that, I don't even know if this podcast will be allowed to continue. It's just not nice.
Quite right.
So yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Johnny. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
Listen, second question, and see how you fare with this one. I think this is trickier. But Johnny, would you rather be a giant jumping bean or have extremely slippery skin?
Well, let's break this down. A giant jumping bean, that's me. Have I got any arms or legs, do you think? Or am I just literally the jumping bean?
I mean, it depends on how you want to take it, because I suppose if you were the bean, you would be a bean, or you could be like, I think real jumping beans, they're little flies trapped in beans, and then the bean jumps about.
So I'm inside the bean, perhaps?
Well, you could be. It depends on which way you interpret it. There's no details, and so we just have to guess.
And slippery skin. Now, I'm tempted to go towards that, because one of my great loves is sledging.
Right.
I would put that probably, second in the queue after pushing. And I'm thinking, what's the big problem with sledging? Often there's no snow, is there? There's no snow. But imagine if you could just slide down a hill without anything. With your slippery skin. I mean, I know what you're thinking. Surely you'd have to be naked to do that. And that is problematic. Let's put it that way.
Sure.
But maybe I could find myself some hills where there's no one around, take all my clothes off, and then slide down with my slippery skin. I think I might go for that. The other thing that worries me about the giant jumping bean is that someone might push me over. And as you know, I like to be the pusher, not be the pushed.
Yes. I mean, this is also my concern with the slippery skin, is it would make pushing things over very hard if every time you tried to push them, your hands just slipped off them.
That's true. But what about if I was to get myself some momentum up? Let's say, for example, let's think about Stonehenge. Is there a hill going down to Stonehenge? Could I become a human? Is it possible for me to become a human bowling ball using my slippery skin and be the one that took down Stonehenge? I mean, you may know that is like the holy grail of pushing. The first person that pushes over all of Stonehenge. Again, listeners, don't go and try this, because really you'd need to be a professional pusher to take it on. But maybe I could slide down the hill at such speed that I could take that whole thing down.
Well, I often, do you know, it's funny, I've looked at Stonehenge a number of times and thought, is that ancient bowling pins? Is that what it is? Or, like you mentioned before, is it like ancient dominoes? It definitely feels like that was built for someone to push them over.
I mean, for me, I find it hard to see it standing when most people look at that and they think, wow, look at that monument, look at that incredible piece of history, and it's got so many sort of stories about it and mystical things. I just find it very frustrating, if I'm honest, because it's not been pushed over, and I'm not sure that I will ever get the chance to do it. And they've made it difficult. They've put a fence around it. They've made the stones very hard. It's almost like someone is laughing at the pushing community.
It is,
with that
and all
monument.
those druids. I think it's the druids. They all stand around. They know they'd get in the way of their pushing. I mean, here's the other question for you. And we do need to go back to the question in a second. But how do you feel about the Leaning Tower of Pisa? That must drive you bananas.
Well, you must know that has been attempted so many times. That is why it is leaning. It used to be perfectly straight, and then when the pushing community really got going, there was people do a flash mob where they dance to a song in the middle of Leicester Square or something. And, well, that was kind of we sometimes do flash pushes, and there was a time when they were really big to try and push over the Tower of Pisa, and unfortunately all we've managed to do is lean it a bit. It's, again, very frustrating. It's almost like the tower is laughing at us.
Yeah, really, really not nice. Really not nice. It needs to just fall now, make a really good noise, and everyone laugh. And that's.
But that's the thing. Have we followed the rules? Can we push it over? We don't know. We tried to break the rules by saying, can we push it over as a team, as a group? But again, I think maybe we overestimated. Yeah,
very hard. I mean, just to go back to the jumping bean or slippery skin, I respect the fact that you could become an incredible human torpedo into Stonehenge. But as a giant jumping bean, I mean, depends how giant you are. Perhaps you could just jump into Stonehenge and push it over that way.
It does have the potential to cause damage. We've all jumped around on a dance floor and knocked somebody else over, haven't we? Everyone's done that. Jumping around to your favourite song, seeing how high you can go. I think they call it pogoing, don't they? Acting like a pogo stick. Next thing you know, you've knocked a waiter over with a tray full of drinks. Is that your fault? Not really, because you're just enjoying the music and pogoing around. So if I was taking on that kind of shape and I was in this giant jumping bean, then yes, maybe. But the thing that I worry about, this is my worry with that, is that it might be unpredictable. And I'm known for being very organised with my pushing. Very,
yes, you do. You like to plan it.
Very calculated. Yeah, I'll plan things through. I mean, I might do a random one in a supermarket with some old ladies like I've discussed. But even then, I'll look at them and I'll think, I'm going to take it from this side so she falls into the display of cereal boxes. I've thought it through. I haven't just gone over and done it. So I think my worry might be that I'll attempt to push one building over and then I might just destroy a building, push over one I actually like. Think, oh, crikey, I've just taken out Krispy Kreme there. And that's a real shame for me because I'm not going to be able to get my Krispy Kremes in the morning. So
no, and that'd be awful. And all the donuts would roll away.
Yeah. I mean, again, we're back to Bob Dylan. Yeah. Back to Bob Dylan, and the mice pushing them, and again, just goes on and on, doesn't it? Goes on and on.
Yeah, I can see this being quite chaotic for you. You know what? You changed my mind on this. I think. Yeah, so I'm guessing you're going to have to go for slippery skin then. I feel like jumping bean is too chaotic for you. It doesn't serve the purpose that you need. Slippery skin, you've got your sledging, you've got your torpedo in Stonehenge.
I mean, if someone said to you tomorrow, do you want to watch a clip of this guy with a crash helmet on, sliding at great speed, naked into Stonehenge and knocking the whole thing down, I think everyone out there listening knows what your answer is going to be.
Yeah, of course. I mean, who's not going to watch that?
You're not even going to say yes. You're just going to not watch that. Exactly. You're just going to grab the phone and press play, aren't you? You want to see that.
Yeah,
you want to see that.
That's a real dream.
I do think that is becoming a bit of a dream of mine now. The more we talk about it, so maybe after this, I'll think about how to get that slippery skin. I'm not sure how we go about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's practical. I'm sure you could wear some sort of scuba suit and cover it in oil.
That's
might
good.
Be a clever way.
Yeah, that's good because it's got quite a sponge-like quality, the way it sucks up the water. So maybe, a bath of oil, get in the scuba suit, drive to Stonehenge.
Yeah.
Well, that's tomorrow sorted then.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, lovely. Good. I can't wait to see this. I think this is going to be... this is going to take the idea of going viral and it'll be next level.
You heard it here
it's
first.
It's going to be global. Yeah, very exciting. Wow, we've had a sneak peek of your album. We've heard your next big plan. This is truly exciting. And Liz, I've got to now ask you this question that we've had sent in, and I'm very excited to hear what you do with this. Really, this is from I'm not sure if it's from Marcy or Mars. It's MARCE, so it could be Mars.
Okay.
It could be Marcy.
Yeah.
It could be Marche. It could be MRC. It could be, it could be a number of different things. I'm not sure, but we might say Mars or Marcy for now. And I don't know anything about them. I don't know where they're from. I don't know how old they are. I don't know who they are. They could be the president of a small island. They could just be Marcy. But they have asked, and I'll read this to you as it said, hello, why does an apple a day keep the doctor away?
That's funny. Is that genuinely the question?
That is genuinely the question.
Do you think she's seen me live? Because I've got a song about that.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if she knew, and she knew that was how to get you to...
maybe, yeah, I've got a song about that. I mean, don't be confused out there, people. Don't be fooled into thinking I'm just making this up now. Oh, no, this is off an old album, this one. This is one about keeping the doctor away with the old apples. Yeah, it's a classic, this one. Yeah, and it's this kind of... Whoa! When the doctor comes round, it's not much fun. He might put an injection in your bum. That's not fun. It's like having to go and clean up for your mum. Doctor comes round, you gotta tell him away, you gotta turn him away, you gotta do something. Well, how about using an apple today? That's the best way to do it. That's what I say, yeah. Pretend you've turned into an apple, draw your face on it, put it on the step, and then speak through the letterbox. I'm not in, but I'm an apple. Can I help you? I can take a message for Jonny Awsum if you like. That's just an example. Or you maybe, I don't know, make some apple sprouts. Nobody likes Brussels sprouts. What about apple sprouts? Oh, hello, doctor. Would you like to come in? But before you do, you have to eat some of my famous apple sprouts. Or you could just go crazy and hurl them down the garden at him. Yeah, he's coming up the path. And what are you doing? You're throwing apples at him, saying, get back! That's just a couple of ideas. Maybe the best one of all is just to write a terrible apple song and sing it at him until he goes away, like apple, 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 apple. Is he gone or he's still there? Apple, 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 apple. Yeah, that's one of my old albums.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. It did pretty well.
Is that called
It did
50
well.
ways to use an apple to keep the doctor away?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And like I say, you can get it on Apple Music.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I mean that was fantastic, and I mean that's really answered Marcy's question very quickly. And I mean, I suppose, and at the end, one of the things I suppose I was going to ask you was, I assume she means apple as in the fruit. I assume she's not throwing MacBooks at doctors, or maybe doctors just don't like MacBooks. I don't know.
Well, I've got another song about keeping the doctor away with MacBooks, but it's terrible.
Right, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
and also I can't really sing it on here because it's got the word flambog right in the middle of it.
Right, yeah, no, that wouldn't be...
I'm sorry for just using that word, but yeah, your dog, and then, just call him a flambog. Anyway, it's got some lyrics in there. It was a different time when I wrote that.
That's fair. We all
years
change,
ago,
and, you
when I was
own up
first
to your
getting
mistakes.
going.
That's fair.
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah,
and
that's interesting. You started with that, and you moved to the Apple one later on.
Well, this is the whole thing about music.
Yeah.
It's the same as pushing. You've got to experiment. You've got to think outside the box. What was the first thing I ever pushed over? I'm surprised you've not asked me that, but maybe you read it on my Wikipedia.
No, do you know it's a very good question. Sometimes I don't like to go for the obvious questions. I think we try and like to be a bit different on Radio Nonsense and talk about the now and what's ahead. So maybe I didn't think of that. Maybe I'm worried that too many people ask you that question.
Well, it was an ant, and that might sound really pathetic. Like some people listening might think, "Oh wow, you pushed an ant over," but actually, it took quite a lot of work. I had to have a magnifying glass so I could see the ant, and I had to be very careful because the sun was out, and I had the magnifying glass, and there was an ant, and I was very careful because all I wanted to do was push it over, not fry it. So,
of course,
I had to look through that thing. The other thing that was very difficult was my finger when I was looking through the magnifying glass was huge. It was like me in the big jelly bean suit again. It was really huge, so it was actually quite a difficult first push. But over he went. I mean, I'm assuming he was a he. Could have been a girl ant. Could have been an ant that doesn't identify as a he or she. It was an ant, but it went over. Yeah, I asked myself the questions. Can I do it? Can I push it over? Yes. Is it going to make a loud noise? I don't know. Because, can you honestly say the answer to that until you've pushed an ant over? For all you know, it might let out this ginormous shriek that is saved for something like that. Ants have got that ability, but they only really let it out for a moment like that. So I didn't know the answer to that. And if I'm honest, I was probably fudging that one a little bit because I was thinking I wanted to push the ant over.
Well, they can lift a large amount. Was it 10 times their own weight or something? So maybe they can scream 10 times their own
That's
size.
Kind of what I'm getting at. Yeah. And then will it make me laugh? Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, of course.
Because this guy's going about his business, right? He's off to the hole carrying a leaf or whatever. Next thing you know, he's on his side. The leaf's blown away. Hilarious.
Very funny.
And what's he going to do? Like get his mates? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there were quite a lot of them, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, they could have really got you. Actually, yeah, they could have swarmed over you. That could have been quite scary.
Yeah, but I got away with that one. That was the first one. And then, obviously, I've just, I've gone on from there, and I've built up over the years,
And have you ever pushed over an apple?
Problem with an apple is unless it's been chopped in half, it's going to roll, and then we're back to bob. I mean, we call it doing a bob in the business. If you're pushing something that is not going to fall over and just going to keep rolling forward. I mean, there's so many examples out there.
Yes.
Just think of something round. Think of something round. A beach ball. Can you push it over? No, because it's just going to keep rolling, right?
Yeah, that's true. A puffer fish, wouldn't really roll.
Yeah, someone's head. You know, it's not ideal. It's not ideal thing to ideal. Be. You know, people on the battlefield. You know, back in medieval times, if they're very early pushers, they may have thought, "I'll push this guy's head over. That's been sliced off by that sword." But really, he's just going to look an idiot because he's going to be pushing his head around a field. And you know, we've all seen that. We've all seen that.
That's true. That's true, and it's why football just goes on for ages because it just keeps rolling rather than just being pushed over and everyone laughs.
Well, it used to be called push ball, didn't it? Back in the day, back in olden times, it was called push ball. 11 chaps, not very bright, who were trying to get into the pushing game, couldn't spot the problem. I mean, they'd have been better off just all getting together and just trying to push one of those goals over, I think.
Yeah, which would really be doable, actually. Really, there's a lot of sport like that. I think golf flags push them over. You know, I suppose you are pushing a ball into a hole with golf, but it's not as fun as pushing over a flag, I'd have thought. I mean, I was just more sort of interested, Jonny, in that, you know, you've sung a whole song about the dangers of apples to doctors. I just thought there must be something in your experience where perhaps you've encountered, where you have kept a doctor away with apple use.
Well, like I say, has a doctor ever come round to your house for a good reason?
I don't think a doctor's ever come round to my house, so no. No is the answer. Then.
Have you been singing the doctor the apple song just to keep him away? Is that why he's never been?
I live in a large apple, so that could be. I mean, that could be part of it.
Okay.
A bit like James and the Giant Peach. We just found a really big one. We moved in.
Yeah. I heard that
it has rolled off a few times. It's a bit terrifying. But
I heard Linda sorted that out for you. Is that right?
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, I didn't see her do it, but the contract.
I heard she pulled a few strings to get you into that property because it was quite sought after.
Yes,
property. And
really big apple. Yeah, everyone wants to move to the Big Apple. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like, I don't know, the Amazon guy turns up and he's got your advent calendar for you for Christmas. Great.
Right.
Great. Happy to see him. Come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
I know you're not supposed to get the Amazon guy to come in, but maybe talk to him about the calendar for a while, all right? Or nice. Who's this coming up the drive with like a load of balloons and a card and a present? Someone for your birthday? Yeah, come in. Right, great. Yeah. Here comes a doctor. What's he got in that bag? Oh, just things like needles and pills you have to take. And like, whoa, yeah. What? So that's where my hatred came from. Yeah.
Yes, I get that. And then you just lob a load of apples at him.
Lob the apples, sing the song, make him eat apple sprouts. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had them, but they are worse than Brussels sprouts.
Right. No, I've been very lucky and haven't encountered apple sprouts.
And you need to be able to do voices and have the confidence to do it, but there's nothing better than fooling a doctor by pretending to be an apple, by drawing a face on an apple and putting it on the doorstep and talking through the letterbox. That is just the most fun one to do.
Yes. Wow. I mean, that sounds fantastic. And what top advice for Marcy there. So I hope
it helps.
Really hope it helps. You never know. They could be really preparing for a doctor visit right now, and this is the information they need to keep that doctor away.
Well, we've given them quite a lot there, and feel free to sing the song.
Yes, I think that would really help. And listen, Jonny, look, thank you for coming on. Thank you for having time in between all your giant pushing feats for coming to come onto Radio Nonsense. What have you got coming up in the next 3.5 years, 4 months and 12 weeks?
I can tell you exactly what I've got. Tomorrow, I'm going to go out and get the oil, get the bath filled, buy a wetsuit, get in the bath, drive to Stonehenge, take all my clothes, I slide into Stonehenge. And then probably the next 3 years after that, I mean, I'd be happy to come on again, but we might have to do it through one of those Perspex glass things with 2 phones, because I'm probably going to be in prison for knocking down Stonehenge.
Yes, good point. Yeah,
is it going to be worth it? Yes. It's going to make one hell of a crash. Okay. We believe with the slippery skin I'm going to be able to do it. And is it going to make me laugh? You bet your butt. It's going to make me laugh. Yeah. Oh,
it'll make me laugh too. It's going to be great.
It's going to be the greatest push of all time.
Wow. Listen, best of luck with that. I'm so excited to see it. I'm so excited to hear the sound. I'm so excited to laugh at Stonehenge falling over. And look, it's been great having you on the show. Good luck. Good luck with taking down Stonehenge.
Thank you so much. Take care, everyone out there. Remember, get pushing.
Huge thanks to Jonny Awsum for having time to answer Marcy's question in between all of that pushing things over. You can find more of Jonny's vids and gigs and everything else at Jonny Awsum, that's AWSUM.com, and he has assured me that most of it is suitable for people of all ages, but do maybe only check it out with your nearest moaning muffin head just in case. And if you have a question that you need to have answered, especially a Christmas one or a wintry one, or you want to send in anything else at all, then please get that same moaning muffin head, sorry, I mean grown up, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclubforkids.co.uk. And do check out comedyclubforkids.co.uk to come along to all of our live shows. And listeners, using the power of my sniffer, I have tracked the smell of my cheese all the way to this door on this building, on this old industrial estate, 343 miles away. So I'm going to go inside and I am going to get my cheese back.
Hello?
You must have my cheese. Give it back.
No, I don't have your cheese.
Then why is this box empty?
It's not empty. You've got the cheese that is all holes right there.
It's all holes?
Yeah.
Then how do I know which bit is the cheese?
There isn't any cheese. It's all holes. The most holes ever in a cheese. But so many holes, there's no cheese. It's just holes.
So it's an empty box?
Now you're being negative.
Oh, well, sorry, it looks empty to me. But I guess if there is a smell, then there must be a cheese somewhere here.
Oh, no. I've just had terrible stomach gas, and while I was packing your holy cheese, I must have blown off right inside the box. Soz.
Ugh, oh, that is awful. So now I have no cheese, and I've been following a fart.
You have all the cheese holes, though. Look, I tell you what, I can see you're upset. Here you go.
What is this?
A voucher for a great place called Lemons R Us. They do great lemons there, and with this voucher you can get at least 5 lemons to make up for your cheese that isn't there.
Ah!
Ugh, there's no pleasing some people. Bye!
You have been listening to
Comedy Club for Kids presents.
Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! Radio Nonsense! It's the end.